So today's time for another Juridev tip. And we are going to have a look at some Chrome DevTool experiments. And Chrome DevTools in general is super awesome. Like there are tons of stuff in there that lets you debug websites. And honestly, me personally, for instance, I learned about the whole CSS design and how to style my site, how to make it look pretty by just basically debugging other websites which looked pretty to me. So let's have a look at some nice experiment. As original, this was shared by Vasim, and definitely give him a follow. He always posts super interesting pieces. And what you can see here, this is a Chrome DevTools experiment that you can enable that allows you to identify the colors and other features basically of a website. So let's have a look how that works. Let's go to the Tailwind website here, which is a pretty hot topic recently, especially when it comes to designing websites and the CSS frameworks. So what you do is you open up your DevTools by just going here to more tools, and then you open up the DevTools down here. And then you open here the settings icon at the very top, which opens up the DevTools settings. And inside that, you have here a panel, basically a set of vertical tabs with experiments in there, which allows you to activate that CSS Overview experiments. And notice these are experiments right now in the Chrome DevTools, but they might become some stable feature at some point, which you can enable. So let me close this. And now this requires a reload of the DevTools. And once they're reloaded, you should see at some point here a CSS Overview tab. So let's click into that. Let's make this a bit bigger and then capture the overview. And so now what you see is it gives you a kind of summary of how many external style sheets there are, how many inline style elements, and a couple other things. And I find it very useful also from the point of view of the colors here. For instance, we could go and say I don't know, this color, for instance, where is this being used, right? And so we just click in here, we get the actual element. So let's scroll into the view. And so we can see a color is being used exactly on this element here, right? You can see how the background color there has been used by what we clicked here. So this might be super useful for debugging your own website, but also by just learning from other websites, by looking at their colors, their font information, like how many occurrences there are of a certain font weight. It might even be a way for you to optimize your own website by actually reducing the number of variations you have, and thus the number of different font types you have to include. Also, there are unused declarations, so you could actually go in and check out whether there's some things that you could kind of avoid, and also some info on the actual media queries that are being used. So hopefully this was useful, and if it was, definitely subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to push out more content over the next couple of months.